butter and fresh baked croissants? Do you want it to?
Sure. Wow. What good croissants right there. Wow. Guys, you're gonna enjoy this video, like seriously.
Croissants made from scratch. There's no quick way to a really good croissant. I hate to break it to you, but there just isn't. These take time, 2 to 3 days to be exact. The majority of that time is almost completely inactive. And obviously you can go do whatever you need to do that day while you're waiting for it. No big deal. It's really only maybe 1 hour of actual active work across all those days, and that's not that bad. If you want fresh baked croissants, this is what you gotta do. I'll stop talking. Let's make this thing. Now, getting started, we need to bloom our yeast first. Before anybody asks, I don't plan on doing a sourdough version of this. I don't like the way sourness plays with croissants. Now, you're gonna start by whisking in 6 grams of active dry yeast into 130 grams of water that's around 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Now, I'm pretty much only gonna use grams for this recipe just because croissants need to be accurate in order to get accurate results. So I recommend getting a kitchen scale. They're really not that expensive, and I'll leave a link below to the kitchen scale that I personally use. Now,
I
once
guess
all that's mixed together,
that's
you're
to
just gonna
make
let that
the
sit
yeast
for about
effective
10 minutes or until it starts to get a
real
little
quick.
foamy on top. To a medium-sized mixing bowl, you're gonna add 250 grams of bread flour, 30
bread
grams
flour
of
right there.
granulated sugar, and 5 grams of fine sea salt. Then just give that a nice thorough whisk until everything is evenly incorporated. Then add in your bloomed yeast mixture, 1 egg yolk, and 25 grams of unsalted butter gently melted. Then just mix those ingredients together with your spatula
so
until
we
it begins
got
to
butter
form a
on this
dough,
one.
and then use your hands whenever necessary and lightly knead the dough until it starts to come together. Don't worry, you're not going to have to knead this for 10 minutes. Now once it's come together, to give the dough a little bit of strength, you're basically just going to pick it up and sort of slap it against the table and then fold it over itself like you see here.
Okay.
Pick it up like it. It looks a little weird. Now this part should only take about 30 seconds to a minute to do. You'll know that it's done whenever you start to see a smooth surface on the dough. Once you're done with that, gently shape it into a ball and place it back in your medium-sized bowl.
Okay.
Cover it with plastic wrap and let it rest in the fridge for 10 minutes. Now once it's rested, you're ready for something called its first turn. In order to do that, you're going to grab an edge of the dough and you're going to gently pull on it and stretch it and then fold it over itself and gently pat it down with the palm of your hand. And you're going to repeat that process all the way around the perimeter of the dough until you've stretched all the sides and it's basically like an elastic ball. Then you're going to flip it over and place it seam side down in the bowl,
in the
plastic
fridge.
wrap it and rest it in the fridge for 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Once it's rested, you're going to repeat that process one more time for a total of 2 turns.
So this
Being
just
careful not to
the
tear
kind
the
of
dough when you're stretching it. You want to make sure that the dough stays nice
basically
and
like
Once you've done that, you're going to plastic wrap it one last time and let it rest in the fridge for 25 minutes. Now once it's rested, place the finished dough on a sheet of wax paper. Now you're going to need to roll this into a 7-inch by 7-inch square. So in order to do that, A, you're going to need a ruler, and B, you're going to need a rolling pin. Start the general shape of it, but don't roll it all the way to the 7-inch shape. Now once you've gotten it into a sort of like a rough, sort of ovalish shape, take your wax paper and fold it so that the edges of the actual wax paper itself, not the dough, but the edges of the wax paper are 7 inches by 7 inches.
Okay.
Then all you have to do is flip your dough over and then sort of gently roll your dough into those
and where
edges,
does it go?
and it'll actually shape the dough for you. So essentially the dough is conforming to the shape of the wax paper. Now 2 things about this. The first thing is make sure that your dough is evenly rolled out so it's completely flat. You don't want it to look like mountainous terrain and high in one area and low in one area. Make sure it's completely even. And then the other thing is don't press too hard, otherwise it'll burst out of the wax paper. In which case, if it does, just carefully unwrap it, leaving the shape intact, and rewrap it. No big